You are watching Liberty Online TV.
This is Liberty Online TV powered by Orange Sierra Leone.
Orange.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Breakfast Show where they come to you live na Liberty Online TV. Today na Tuesday, the 22nd day of April 2025. And we will bring this edition of the Breakfast Show to you. Me na Mabel Kabade say good morning.
And me na Al Hassan Kuma, good morning. I pleasure for there. Today na Tuesday, April 22nd. And inside this edition of the Breakfast Show, we will look at two strategic districts in the country. Which one of them we will decide the 2028 elections, and that we will discuss inside this edition of the program. And as well, you will watch, go able to say a message to the number +232 74 200 545, or you drop a comment na the platform outside you watch with from.
Alright, and remember, so Yusuf for the watch the show as soon as from Al Hassan, go be part of the show by dropping your message now the comment section na the different platforms na the watch we, or you drop na +232 74 200 545. This is the Breakfast Show live na Liberty Online TV. And members say this edition of the Breakfast Show, we can talk about politics. We know say the next general elections get for be in 2028, but we begin for set the agenda, begin discuss issues, then we go decide on the next elections. And today we tell you now we can look at two major districts, them when are Kono Districts and Kambia Districts. We know say for a very long time now, Kono don't be one of the districts them where the two oldest political parties them when are the APC and the SLPP believe say any one pan them were able for take a strategic hold of this particular district were able for emerge as winner for the elections. Well, we see a switch done they happen. Also, the new twist we see Kambia self done make a very big impact when it comes to political party decisions them. And between Kambia and Kono districts, now the two sides in this way, people don't they get this perception say come 2028 elections. Any of the political party them were able for make inwards now this any of them districts here go able for decide if now then go able for win the elections. Well, and that's what they discussed on the program this morning. And now a pleasure this morning for introduce one of our studio guests and we already done join we now Honorable Bamichidi. Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Well, good morning, neighbor.
All right, well, we expect Melvin Tijan Mansare also for joining at the studio this morning for let we get this very educative conversation with us. Also, we can look at then two districts here, so one gets edge over in comping. What's the possibility say if any of the political parties them able for dominate either of the districts them? What's the possibility say they might emerge as winners for the 2028 elections? We discuss some inside the program this morning, but let we take the first issue. Also, we go courts. Alassane?
All right, we definitely will look at the very first issue inside the program this morning as Magistrate Sakekura and the Freetown Magistrate Court number 1 don't send 30-year-old David Mohamed Mansare go to the Male Correctional Center for the offense of fraudulent conversion contrary to law. Well, now we join Matu Sheriff. We put these reports together.
Magistrate Sakekura na the Freetown Magistrate Court number 1 don't send 30-year-old David Mohamed Mansare go na the Male Correctional Center for fraudulent conversion. The accused, David Mohamed Mansare, they turn up before the court on one count charge we get for fraudulent conversion contrary to Section 21B of the Last Name Act of 1916. According to the particulars of offense na that, Thursday, April 3rd this year, na Bailey Street na Freetown, the accused been turned to use one LG Android mobile phone wey cost 3,500 leons when a Maurice Koma been given for deliver to person and it turned am to use. Magistrate Sakekura no been give for bail to the accused and been send am go back na the Male Correctional Center. For Liberty Online TV, me na Mariatu Sheriff.
All right, welcome back. You still watch the Breakfast Show on Liberty TV, and from that report today, we Mariatu Sheriff Giwi as an update from the courts. Let we come back and talk to the studio guest them. We tell you today we can talk about politics. Also, we look at Kono and Kambia districts. Which of them two districts here get the possibility as a swing district for decide on the 2028 general elections, especially the one we get for do with presidential. And we'll be done to introduce one of our studio guests already. We're now Honorable Bamichide, and a political analyst. We're getting at the studio this morning, and also now a pleasure for welcome with other studio guests. We're now Melvin Tijan Mansari, a journalist and a social commentator. Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Thank you very much, Miguel, for having me. Good morning.
All right, so they come over first to Honorable Bamichide. We all know, say, from the last census, Kono and Kambia districts, Kono being gets over 620,000 as population, and for Kambia district, then self gets over 345,000, where you talk about the population of them two districts here. Kono, we know, say, for a very long time now, the political journey of Sierra Leone, now battleground for the political party that we can one contest, especially the APC and the SLPP, where them believe, say, if any of them able for dominate that particular district, then go able for emerge as victorious na any elections where the country done the contest. We don't hear again about Kambia districts, then self don't they come up. But let me just see first, generally, how you go describe Kono district, where we talk about political domination na salon, how you go describe Kono district?
Thank you very much. Interesting question, but this not all correct facts what they talk of. Depends on which type of election they want. But normally Kono can be a deciding factor because depends on the because SLPP get Kono, the APC get Kono. But then when the Kono people they say easy engine of Kono can come inside, it can make a slight sin on the scene. But that what we talk just about the sense of begin call Kono, this, that. Not go by that last sense of my honest opinion. When you bring that question, it don't bring the different configuration of the figures because the whole thing was a mess. So we not use an day because when that is why when you look at election, look at constituency based what we don't use. Not a PR system. This PR system was a farce. It was not taught properly. And then the people in our parliament, they not even experience that. Look what they can give you now. That's what we're having this mess. So forget the thing is, when the indigenous of Kono can come inside, we get slight influence, Oma they say no back we come in kind. That's the basic thing. But if you look at it again, first in the PR system of 96, we will see how the election go. SLPP, APC, not so? Yeah. Oh, APC they get this thing. But this election, no, I don't ever go by this 19, what they call this election. I don't even go by them because it not show decency. So I know it's going to be mostly government not making they don't get the transition, they don't sort out themselves, the politicians. Them. But look at the truth of the matter. Outside Kambia inside this thing, below Dixon, they got a certain portion in the last district election. Look at history, where you can get SLPP, they PRC, SLPP can get area where you get that social round area, they can get some seats then there. But periodically, as you see, election now they look and say, me not be see Kambia as a thing. Like Tonkolili always get 2-3 SLPP seats from PR system. McKinney can get seats from everywhere they can get because you get supporters in there where they look where they can most vote for the party where you want.
Honorable, somebody when they watch go one for see like you mentioned about the PR system and that.
Now the PR system make
the constituency base. Somebody when they watch Kono, we don't decide the elections whether a PR system or not or constituency based. They have been deciding elections outcome so far. But inside your statements, you talk more about the PR system. I want to ask whether do you have a problem with regards to the PR system?
Nothing. I tell you the reality on the ground. Kono began as if you look at the Kono history, what was Songo Brewer when they be so banished? That makes I can see him penetrate there. Look at the history. Now don't say when Kono person get involved, then something can change. They can club by themselves or put them person inside. So like when Sam Sumala came in. Not it was a heavyweight at the time, but then they Kono picking. And they felt that it was not treated fairly. So they rally around what they call the party, not party reform. Then get the seat. That is sure you say it don't own land. Now because then the person where they do that come up for themselves and they talk about. Like we come to America for so Kono say we don't used to be the same, but if not be banished that chief, Albert make a mistake, then all that's in there enough for be a swing state. They were SLPP.
So from your experience inside elections that we did on the old salon, just like we with the project Kono and that of Kambia
before
for
Kono.
2028
What 2028?
decider elections, the 2028 elections. So you get any other contrary view for bringing another district we probably go draw attention for decide elections?
I give you a broad overview. Say Tonkolidi get SLPP, not so. That's 96, and the other, you get the first, you get that district block. You get two election, proportional representation as well as the district block vote. You see, say, now that side they can able to say, it can take them people away, not for the get pan constituency kind inside. And this election too, by the time we were talking, I think it was Lavali who started it, I think I was part of the program, when we saw some reason because the way they were going. But it was not handled properly in Parliament. And that's what's causing all the mess. So in other words now, give the people what they want, constituency. And when you have this constituency election, that swing state for Kambia will never exist.
So for you, Kono Districts, the paramount focus now for let them get indigenous where they contest. And that influence
the basic thing.
Then they use them.
That is to the best of their ability, but then you know they benefit them because at the end of the day, you must get the two parties there, APC, SLPP. And who are the benefit? The one within a power or they use the power of incumbency. Now that can make them can do and bully their way through.
The APC and the SLPP currently, what do you think they get edge in a Kono?
APC. SLPP business, I don't say it's certain. I'm not going to for it's certain question I can ask. It's so difficult because all the politicians are like that they lie. Nobody don't get all over these people who don't care money go, but if you get the correct person where they get respect for and confidence for, they can influence them. Now you get some big go. You get the dynamic economy. Are they really heavyweight? That is have to do it, but the people that are too hypocrite, would I give them a small thing and they vote that way? Then.
You say currently na the APC gets edge na Kono District. Waiting go back up and justify this.
I don't say APC get edge. Then they go by the wind. Once the Kono people, who side then most of the people that will be the APC get them. If you remember, look at the 96 election and the other one, we turned the Lembide. They doing Pakaba and them, they get it. So they come turn and come back inside. They look and they get it. Konoyema them they get inside it. It was so near. But then it depends on the influence of the way they campaign. Because this one where they make now Kono, they begin block here, not block here. It not be tell well to the general public. Even if you look at this PR system back, it's messed up, but at the same time, it makes stability kind of the country. Because that situation again now put local and the other again above. We one gets it, one not gets it. It needs more to be done, but then election is. No, so don't make them beat you. No go carry you the left or you go turn, go other side. Then get any kind of babble then give you go for beer. And that happened this election.
All right, Honorable Bamichidi, we'll come back to you. Let me just bring Melvin Tijan Mansare na the conversation where we get this morning regarding the Kambia and Kono districts. Then two districts here seem for be swing districts in a salon way. At any time last minute, they can decide where they can lean. A possible say na they go emerge as victorious na any election. We're ahead of the 2028 election. Melvin, firstly for Kono districts and Kambia, politics-wise, how you go describe then district here?
Well, we go agree that they can vote either parties if you look at the trend or results analysis over years or elections. But apparently, I want to take a disagreement position with Honorable Chidi on the question where you ask, would I get edge na Kono? It's clear. The SLPP gets edge over APC na Kono.
Why
And
is it so?
thank you very much. I'm a journalist. I always prepare the why before making a position. Why? I will give you a simple case study. In the just concluded 2023 election, though disputed as it may, the results, Madabio, Julius Madabio gets a vote, a total valid vote of 528,862. That is Madabio. And for Samoa Kamara winner APC, it begets 63,082. So clearly, from the 2023 results, presidential, I'm dealing them by segments, presidential, it's clear that Kono has swung over to the green. Let me just lend more buttress in facts. Another buttress in fact, now that before 2023 elections, there was the advent of C4C. Mind you, when C4C came, they captured 8 seats in the 5th Parliament. And by so doing, that 8 seats, they cut down on the number of seats of SLPP. In fact, I think there was no SLPP but APC MPs by then. So, C4C disappeared in 2023. And who filled that gap? Who that filled the gap in terms of number of seats? Now SLPP. SLPP gets 7 MPs, whereas APC gets just how much? 3. So by that factor again of using the election results, it clearly shows that Kono people, the Kono electorate, then don't turn attention 2023 to the SLPP. But there is the interesting nuance we will understand. Because like SLPP, the APC gets an unfinished, like SLPP in Kambia, the APC in Kono District still has got an unfinished business, which is how will they address the issue or return of Chief Alhaji Sidiki Samsumana. Of course, you cannot say he is the political godfather of Kono anymore because the times don't change. You have the advent of people like Sir Emerson, Lamina, and others, where for the political relevance and political calendar, they've asserted themselves very strongly. But the fact remains, Kono can only go red based on how APC will handle the Samsumana. Let me just lend this other fact that the Kono electorate, they are clannish in nature. That's why you get this word and talk, Kono-i, Kono-fa. Kono for Kono.
That's about ask you, say, what they look for within the vote? Is it by issues or just because somebody now from the soil of Kono?
Kono has always presented a political godfather. Over make the mention of the brewers. If you look at the electoral histories of Kono, history of Sierra Leone and Kono in relevance, and it you say always Kono they decide based on the way the leadership figure from the district. So assuming APC bring back Samsumana and give Samsumana the candidacy, automatically based on conjectures and perception where we get, Kono will might go back to red.
So we want to reaffirm for within Honorable Bami Chidi, they talk about having a son of the soil and indigene.
That's why we can able for. That's why that's the point. The Kono vote is clannish. That is not to say they don't get division among themselves. But when it comes to political power, that figure we don't do before them, where they all agree on. Usa it go, now then they go. So that is absolutely that is no contest. But the fact that
you don't mention,
but the fact that
Melvin,
yeah.
You talk about SLPP having more support right in Kono
based on previous results.
Yeah. Like the previous 2023 elections so far.
Yeah.
You know, so looking at them particular ground say we the SLPP don't make na Kono District. You know, so you feel say Kono will still remain. It has to be SLPP.
It might swing. It might swing because you ask yourself, what are the legacies of the SLPP currently in Kono District? They are not much. SLPP not do much for the kind of votes we then get na Kono. I'll tell you one big unfulfilled promise where some people give to Kono, which still is yet to materialize, is the University of Science and Technology. Has that materialized? No. All right. In terms of roads, of course, there are ongoing road projects, but so many of these roads, I would tell you, into the interior needs a lot of facelifting and uplifting. So it goes to the heart of the question the last time: what will citizens vote on? Will they vote on Bidi Bidi Mia as it is done in the south and the southeast, my brother and my brother, or will they vote on what has changed? Of course, don't take away this first lady factor from Kono. Don't take it away, and don't take away the chief structure of Kono. Would I get the chief in a Kono sometimes? Now the people there. Kono is so unique that waiting the chief they tell the people there most times, except in rare occasions when it comes to mining rights and mining laborers' rights. That is something I can disagree with the chiefs. Other than that, the chiefs are so the position of the chiefs are so cemented and powerful that if you get all the chiefs, and that's where again you cannot entirely say the APC might have an easy ride, because of course if you look at First Lady Fatima Bio, looking at her stance, for example, how she associated with the protest. These are not just for human rights reasons, these are for political reasons. Because at the end of the day, the Kono, you can campaign back in Kono. I watched the campaign in Kono. I listened to some of the messages. So it's basically, my brother and my brother, my sister and my sister, let's go with it. But will the people continue in this? Looking at, for example, the economy, looking at the impact of mining in Kono, looking at the devastation caused by mining, the environmental degradation. So, in as much as it has got to do with issues, but it has also got to do with clever opposition, packaging and messaging them well. Because at the end of the day, I repeat, people don't like what I told you. If you go take Adebayo for go campaign for your political party, people are going to turn off because
Supplies on the mix.
it might give them a good place to sleep in terms of votes. But if they come again and ostracize and begin to downplay the relevance, you know, there is this lack of reconciliation between APC and Sam Sumana, which has got serious impact down in Kono, and they should fix it. It might be one man, but Sam Sumana, no matter what you say, many people don't vote for APC because of how APC been treated. So if APC need for putting house in order, then for correct that wrongly, and how will they correct it? Will they readmit him and give him his status back to contest as a flag bearer? It's a wait and see.
If we look at the political figures, if na for go by that, na Kono Districts, the names them where they hear from the SLPP, the names them where they hear from the APC so far, which of the two party them possible for whole Kono based on the names and we don't come out?
It's an interesting one because, of course, you get the names like the Diana Finda Konomani, but you ask yourself, what's our relationship with the common people? You also get the likes of Sir Emerson Lamina for the SLPP, who seemed to be a very populist and a grassroots leader, looking at his approach with the bike riders and his legacy projects. So, again, that's a very critical question because not what's saying Kono no more. What you don't do for Kono? And I think that's the heart of the question. So all of these so-called political godfathers in Kono, what are their tangibles and legacies? And that's where I think, yes, Sam Sumana might have been the vice president, but if you look at Sir Emerson Lamina and in projection and trajectory politically, is somebody that's to underestimate also. Of course, you have Sam Sumana, we now be Emerson Lamina and your own boss. But in politics, one day mean a lot. Let's talk about Emerson not in a parliament so how many years Sam Sumana not ever mastered. So it means in terms of resources wise, politics is also about resources. Would I get the resources? So it's gonna be an interesting look at in terms of the personality. But I think the two personalities are gonna be Emerson Lamina versus that of Sam Sumana.
Right, you don't mention before maybe like on the issues of who among the two political parties, the APC and the SLPP, get strong supporting Kono. You mentioned about Honorable Sam Sumana. If the APC can able for showcase them, they might have something in Kono. What you would expect to see the SLPP for do, having the kind of support as well with them in against that Kono for continue?
I think they need for deliver for the people. SLPP not will continue for the win based on tribal sentiments. No, they need for deliver, and the state of development in Kono, it's not anything good to write home about. So they must deliver in terms of what the people are in need of: good roads, energy, cutting down on environmental degradation, improving the lives of mine workers, and diversifying the economy of Kono. All of those things, that things that we're going to do. Again, back to that question, there are other names also of APC people in Kono, but most of them don't run away. Logus, where is he? Nowhere to be found. Ali Kaba, in fact, it's not called Ali Kaba, Kamo Kaba. He's now one of my favorite writers in a salon, though he's a politician, may not can see it, but in terms of his penmanship. But again, what do you hear about them man and they? So they all, from the Kono perspective, many of them from where the election done, they've kept in their catacombs. Then so they follow and following food, they not consolidate. Whereas if you put her in tandem with Fatima, she's always consolidating her political grounds. So it's going to be an interesting look at it.
Through delivery, Fatima, they consolidate in political grounds. Or not just for what appear and say, are they throw me supports? Through words. Is it service delivery?
Maybe I don't know. I guess it's not a question there. You can't put me now, you can't pitch me against the mommy. But interestingly, the mommy herself in legacy in Kono, part of that protest, what are they? For seminar, Kono picking now one thing, for go join people and for demonstrate another thing. A part of that, what institutions the first lady don't create in Kono? Who's seen them where you go see that? Of course, I'm not saying the first lady to do a lot of good, because if you go to Kono in host na money, people are the crowdy. Those are personal. But let's say, who's school Fatima don't be in Kono? Who's multi-purpose center where don't be in Kono? Like where I go say I am building a multi-purpose center. So to answer your question, our support might be rhetorical or political, but in terms of real, she has to do more as a daughter of Kono.
All right.
She has to do more.
Let me just bring Honorable Bamichidi
because it's like the mommy already don't fail on the Koidu case. So when I will be expecting for can get big political points. And I almost don't fail the people that don't make stubborn say. So the mommy said, look, you be saying a commodity all thing done, but the mommy get for can cook for the past. So
maybe don't tire.
When the mommy get for can cook for the past, don't tire. You get for can cook for the past.
All right, we'll come back to you. Let me just bring Honorable Bamichidi. We talk about service delivery. Let me look at the experience we don't get in all waiting to happen when we talk about politics na salon between the APC and the SLPP. Oda go knock chest na Kono District say service delivery top notch.
Good, interesting question, but I correct them between
Maybe.
I don't tell you, I don't say, listen to that. I was not talking about presidential. I was saying the basic fact that even the census of flood. So from that point, you can't get anything. And then I gave you an instance of Potloko versus Bo election. So if you don't look at them, you don't get the record straight was. I was not looking at presidential. The whole thing was a farce, from the PR system to everything. But now coming for service delivery, where APC can do, they can spend more time in the south and the east to carry physical and tangible thing what you see. Not to talk. But then, when it comes to the other way around now, for Kono right now, okay, governance and continuity. At least government makes sure that the lights reach that eastern where they come out in Ivory Coast, it reach Kono. But the people are there themselves. Not they say begin cut cable, cut this thing for men not get lights. And men don't tell we say they come with the big Congo. That's not fast. About talk. What has called you holding that generation, they have planned to do that Kimberlite thing, not able to serve Kono, but they will tell you about corporate social responsibility, which they don't do. Because the company now, they make money. But if you want the whole history of the mining of Kono, then they come under prospecting license. Where it's sell, it's sell. Other one can't take over. The one that way they come, now briefcase businessman them. You don't get Octea. You look at the whole thing. From the one, the people of Sierra Leone are not even serious. Where for the cacao without the mining? Where this team is no go? They come back with other thing. They don't sell out. I was in Woodside when I asked them, I said, but the lights can't no more Moriba town. Now the chief driver will not begin lights. I said, I asked him it, man. He said, but the agreement was, they know Buduam. Because the plant, that wasted energy, the plant will go up to Moriba, get a light. But they make sure they said the driver will be there. Chief driver will begin light. They get a cable where you get light from that place. They don't mind. But because we agreement with the Sinai wrong from the one, you people don't benefit. They don't talk anything. By the time you don't talk, government don't kind of side, and the people that use law. Now what you pass, then they interpret. So in other words now, successive government have failed the people. Even this current one, because they are not looking at the interests of the citizens. They look at broadly, but at the end of the day, why make now what you sign a paper? And I say no, not you for can't talk there. But for give all my own respect, then battle, then make all my done. But at the end of the day, you go to agreement that you signed. So service delivery in Akono for now. But the SAP not do better in Akono right now. Now what's in APC be left? Now then they continue with governor continuity. But one thing will come out for the service delivery is making sure they connected that Ivory Coast lights to Kono. And the people are now, if you manage and find hour, if you don't manage and find, that's their business. But they don't care light go there. So be sustainable. But you know they go court because of politics. That's exactly.
There's somebody with the watch could say Kono gets efficient lights, although probably like you mentioned, it can be sustainable light system. But for now,
once government pay Ivory Coast, they'll get their light. No, that's what they say. Future not making get light better. They're not going to get the ship money. You will pay the ship.
So how you assess the lights situation at Kono for now?
Papa, I don't come on Kono for a long time. But what's in government say on the radio and television, I say, but then they don't carry the eye because I go Kono. Then later on they decide to do something for link with Bumbura. So you can come for it on. Or you can't round that area then the line pass. Because from Bumbuna to Kono is simple. Then get road then they.
If Kono people not look at issues, policies, but decide.
They don't look at nothing between you know, if you wait to ask me a question. Two Bamba would have tell you so right now is that. Where you go now, this who come up from this ISB that. This Kono, but me not sabi because then they say ask for the indigenous of themselves. Then they go for what people then tell them. Like now Lamina line the fly. Emerson.
Come 2028, who that you think Sego gets hold of Kono between the APC and the SLPP?
Depends on the leadership. A charismatic leader, proposed leader can have an influence.
Whether not son of the soil or not.
Mm-hmm. Because the trend going on now is everything has been centered in the north and the south. They're asking now, let us get somebody from the east. They're not they've been honest with themselves. We don't allow all that around and don't go. My guy's out, this one. Where Shaka still in between adopt Kambia, but now Southerner, but still. So now they say they will get somebody from the south, the east. So SAP put a formidable candidate, APC can put a formidable candidate, but the thing is, will the structure allow that to happen? That's a $1 million question.
Based on the way how Kono done the votes, based on the side where they done the throw and support, it don't be to the advantage so far?
All they get is enough benefit then. The same thing. They can get local. Under the APC or ESCOMA, they get the first lady, Kono, progressive but a quiet person. Then they get some Sumana. When they go up one road, I say, I be out honest, when they go up one road, Where he said, if you not, when I get it, if you not mistake, it come on our hand. And they did. When they begin fight and vex now, they're not benefited again. You see this infighting in politics, it makes us say, not live by the day in politics. Nothing may cause this problem with our thing. I hear somebody they talk about say one be leader. You don't go examine yourself. You don't tell with the people whether they can throw money. Then they go get the money, win, they can take them back go. That's the same thing that happen. Never mind. They go.
Honorable, we want to look at the voting mentality.
There's no pattern
between the two. Just like we don't talk more about Kono, I just want to draw your attention to Kambia, because Kambia will be say it was dominated by the APC. Then later we
constituency-wise?
Yeah, constituency-wise. Constituency-wise.
The APC, so Western and APC.
Yeah, so when the PR system come, we see a little bit swing na Kambia district when the SLPP begins seating and
I don't say the area. But I did parliament with the area, so I know what they talk about. And maybe you attest to that. Around that Susupan area, I don't be legislated. SLPP be the getter. But when APC then begin make stubborn, then begin make they begin infighting in that the leadership struggle, now that the SLPP was clever enough to make inroad. And because like they didn't talk to Pepito, that's why SLPP gets some kind of city under. You see what you don't see that they talk? These are the things that the internal dynamics within the party. Just like in the SLPP was past APCO, and they see the same trend where an SB allow. Hey, go try it. Why you go tell person go try it? Then you know damn well say they go campaign against them. You don't want them. Tell us straight, go see them. Truth na bit appeal, but it's better for them to know. No encourage nobody by that nonsense. And that is exactly what the two parties are doing.
So between the Kambia and Kono districts, who that you think will be the deciding district for 2028?
2028. Who will be the decider? Who will decide? Well, let the people decide then, because they don't get sense of direction right now. The whole thing is going orderless. Like what boats they go, the order don't cut. Now go no more. Let God to get window the back land and a safe shore. That's all.
Okay, Honorable Bamichidi, continue for the within at the studio. You still watch the Breakfast on Liberty Online TV, and at the program this morning, where they talk about Kono and Kambia districts, but then two districts here. Outside the possibility they for then go decide the 2028 general elections, especially the presidential elections. We get Honorable Bamichidi at the studio, when a political analyst, and also we get Melvin Tijan Mansare, a journalist and a social commentator. According to Honorable Bamichidi, where we just ask her in terms of decision making, deciding the 2028 decision. And I think say anything tangible will happen because the people not the votes based on issues than just particular about or that come out outside. For you, 2028 elections between Kono and Kambia, then two swing districts here. Also the possibility they follow the victory come out.
As always, they get higher population than Kambia. So for the population, we will not know it waiting for the new registration and boundary delimitation and waiting for be. But already we know say Kono get population than Kambia. So that make him a suiting contender for be a battleground, and the impact of that result they get for be far reaching because the number they high. But of course, Honorable Bamichidi will for articulate a very important point, which is what's at stake for Kono and Kambia indirectly. So what at stake, if you look at the pattern, the south and the south particularly don't dominate the SLPP leadership. As it stands, it's mostly southerners. And mind you, if you blend the south and the east, not to one ethnicity, then they speak. And the uniqueness about Kono is the only district in which the Kono dialect is the ethnic vogue. So that is another uniqueness. But for SLPP, the big scratching head issue will be, will they be considered in the East? And if they are considering the East, will it be between Kailaun and Kono? If it's going to be between Kailaun and Kono, obviously Kono will take the lead because Kono gets population than Kailaun. So, again, the Kono caucus, and that is very important. And for Kambia, That's the uniqueness. How will the SLPP handle Dr. Yumkela, and how has Dr. Yumkela handled the people of Kambia? Just, I think last week he was there installing solar lights and a project like that. Yes. So it's a big dilemma for the political parties. And for APC, I don't see much other than just need to get a strong campaign message for Kambia, because already, if you look at the pattern, they are in control of Kambia. Kambia swing go to APC based on the parliamentary results, based on the number of people who vote for Samura Kamara. It's all clearly indicative. Based on the number of council seats, it's clearly indicative that Kambia 2028 might be a done deal, in fact. APC numbers might increase in Kambia if the SLPP not manage the Yumkela affairs well. That is the conjunction. And for the same dilemma with the SLPP again at Kambia, now the same dilemma now APC again at Kono. Because the trajectory might halt or even change. Where I say halt, already SLPP is having a lead in terms of numbers from the results that we don't permeate on. So if that change is going to, if the APC is going to halt the rapid spread of the SLPP votes in Kono, I use the word rapid because the margin they're huge where they beat APC in the last election, call it any kind of way, but Honorable Bamechidi. So again, if the APC handles some Sumana affairs well, like how if SLPP handle Kanda Yumkela affairs well, it might attract or distract voter sympathy from the district then they. Because no matter what you talk, even with Kambia, yeah, you will say, okay, well, so then they and other tribes then they, so ethnicity might not be too strong. But the northern block of Sierra Leone, we know where their political affection lies. Unlike when it comes to Kono, it has always been here, there, and there. So
how you look at the APC for old Samsumana issue? What you project them for do with regards holding Samsumana so that they go forget any vote inside?
Then for stop for be very and if I be careful with them political party, I'll tell them they beef me. So I look one best jargon for the APC. Then for left for be what I would call dilly-dally on Samsumana. They should take a position clearly. They should not be hot or cold. They should not be too political on this matter. Because if APC, now a party where they learn from their mistakes, then see the repercussion of Samsumana in departure and forming C4C, and how impersonality by then influence the outcome of that election day. So the APC must not downplay the relevance of Samsumana.
But it obvious say if the APC is to go by the new constitution, wouldn't they use Samsumana does not stand a chance for contest?
I think we don't need to venture into the legalities around there, because if I am a lawyer for Samsumana, I will always argue that the premise of the action itself was not based on law, was not based on constitutional fairness. And that is the political arrogance the APC must shift themselves from. They must know that they offended Samsumana. Now then picking and you can do anything to you can beat her, you can stab her, you picking and you picking. But when you picking on big and don't reach that age for taking your own decision, you never take time, you deal with her. So the APC must shake off from their political arrogance in thinking that, oh, Samsumana is not relevant, or we can do without Kono, or now we don't pick him, we don't left, we go. They should not be bitter about the fact that he left. He never left because he wanted to left. He was politically maltreated, and the vexation of the Kono people still hovers around that. So APC first, if well, maybe not, I make me not a party politician other than an ordinary politician. If I was one of the advisors, they need to mend fences openly with Samsumana, agree that the decision taken by Anes Kroma was wrong, don't legal. Same thing like ECSL no more, like I didn't certify Mother Bio as the president, which is legal, but the election still illegitimacy issues exist. That the APC, that they don't albatross that. They have to accept the fact about that decision was not well placed or well seated constitutionally, because the ECOWAS court ruling don't speak to that. We own court ruling in, we know we will all be expecting this court they will get us alone with all due respect. They definitely the political pipers that they call the tune. So in this case, APC for be honest to themselves that they did some wrong, and some must be honest to himself to say, okay, you've wronged me, but let's reconcile and move forward. If that is not done, Some will always continue to be lukewarm and on the shadows as we don't see all the campaign, and that's get impact. I tell you, any candidate where in some Sumana they go Kono now, it change the dynamics of the politics. So, let's to talk about some Sumana instead of going to people there. It go speak the Mami language. And like the Kergo development and Kergo once the Mami language, then you get for big tax now for the SLP people. Let them go for offend Kono. Maybe now there's some side match. I mean, I say for be politically relevant.
If not able for again Kono, if they're not able for regularize some Sumana in position.
I think so. Yes, they must. That is the big unfinished business for the APC. They must regularize his status, even if at the end of the day he lost the presidential on lower levels. But the fact remains, the Kono people and for say, okay. In fact, the APC is honest enough to itself. They should send out an apology to that guy. I mean, if they want to be political, if I were their political advisors or strategists, I would tell them, now we don't move for 2028, they come. Let bygones be bygones. Let's do an open letter saying, okay, we've reviewed the decision, yes, the president had the powers and blah, blah, blah. But now we've come to the realization that this was wrong. And we are apologizing to Sam Sumana and the Kono electorate. That alone will send a message that will threaten the SLPP.
There is a lot of messages that we can come with regards to APC trajectory to Kono, you know. So do you think the APC not go able to survive without Kono? Because plenty issues that many APC supporters they say we can survive without Kono and all that.
No, but they don't learn the lesson. They make that bogus political boast day and bogosity at the end of the day, and no. None of the two political parties can survive without Kono. None. Because Kono is seen as a block vote by virtue of what you see with C4C. And now what you see even with SLPP. They are voting as a block. One or two can go outside of the block where they can get 1, 2 other people. But Kono, basically they are voting as a block. And if you are taking that electorate number for granted, I mean, me na Western area, born, I go, we get the numbers. But even the Western area alone cannot win an election. You need the Western area plus another major district in the East winner Kono. Outside of Kenema in the East, you cannot talk about any other district but Kono. So Kono is centrifugal in who wins 2028 or any election in Sierra Leone. So I select among you candidates from Kono or not Kono has got a role to play, you know, and I think it should be around their time, Kono and if you come over to the west, I mean, the politics don't be too crowded by it's either you are a Mende or you have been a Timni, you know, we need to have a shift in these dynamics. If not, it's widening the regional and ethno-regional divide, right. and it's worrisome.
Say the 2028 elections, are we foreseeing say people go really begin vote based on issues where they believe say political party go able for solve for them, or then go continue for votes based on tribe? I
think it's going to be multifaceted considerations. First, the person that we get for Guy, he get for be the person for be appealing. Charismatic. He go give somebody that ask you Sabia, he like he come on the beater. So therefore be very circumspect back to, you therefore look at the message, the political party, a message, all of that. But the fact remains, yes, that is one factor, but that is not only the factor. Because at the end of the day, an Eskomadu development in a Kailaon, but at the end of the day, that result, we see how the result come out. So say people are voting just because of development, we need to do a research on that, on waiting to move people in for votes. I know some people in tribe, the other day, this weekend, I learned one thing, say some people they vote by Oda you will call and pick and call. Oda you go in office on now can see you will see. So we politics get traditional elements, not like the West way.
How forget the people of Sierra Leone for begin votes based on issues where they believe say person go able solve and not by your ethnic group or any other attachment.
See, now, but democracy, they not even follow up better now, yeah? You know the book, in the sense that who will call, also now, when you see when I'm voting, they can't talk to you, they can't access, they want them. Say, text me. No man, they text. If you want to text, you don't need to text. Listen, let's pick a call. One phone call can solve so many problems. But they're out of touch with people. For the government getting that $100,000 motor when they tint the glass, they walk up and down. Are they in touch with the people? And then another thing that is frightening is this youth business they work. But we've seen the pattern. We see the transition from 92 was rudely taken from us. What do we do back now? So we don't break that to come up from old. Momo was more before 70, then they pull them. They come to young man. The young man, they not be able to do better. Now we can go back to that 70s Pakaba aircraft as Madi. They don't even consider Temu or the Abbas Bundu. Now they haven't done that and then also they still go up to 70. Then they come back to Honest. Then they come back to Mother. So if you're not trending for worker with, somewhere along the line, certain brackets can fail with. And then we're not going to get choice. You know, go now can get the 80, but you go between that 70 area for able to get stability. That's the truth I'm telling you. We mean the see. But what they can say that radical inclusion, now we turn this. And then what is your performance for also for make you buy that idea themselves? Look at the train at home. Why you look at the train? Christmas, where they come, you see anything? Like Easter, I say, that's what I'm used to. I say, okay, but they look streets. Most cars, there are but see 2-3 people they make noise, they say they go on the beach. Angry, because what about I say they all. But they go buy anything at the beach, so me not go there. But these are the things you are looking to see, the temperature of people. See, salon, we get good side, we get wrong side. At which side, we don't know side the good side, so the wrong side. We can flip and change at any moment in time. In voting. That's why we all have Freetown, the thing. But predominantly, Freetown more can vote more APC because they get more area inside. All people always going to get seats in Freetown. No mistake. And that is why sometimes the PR favors SNPP better than APC. APC don't used to that boost business for seats them. But people don't get sense now. So everybody is practicing the same political game. But anybody for make sure say politics is a number game. Get the right candidates and the people will turn out to vote. But that Bokutin they say they need you money, they not go vote for. You go watch online YouTube man they give polo the thing. Election they can catch them and go get the look. They don't go vote. They're not going to waste their time in a line.
When you look at the current pulse of the public, if we go so into the 2028 elections,
it will be a low turnout.
In terms of that, because that's our canto, in terms of the figures, the turnout, the issues, waiting go paramount for people.
Bread and butter. But the country, they suck. We don't be honest to each other. You see, that tinted glass sometimes, you don't connect with your people. If you notice, unless they put glass down, this thing. No say them become with ceremonial uniform at State House. You know why? We pack about that to military that camouflage them with the use book. You know, it's when it's like say something that civilian government to Democrat. I mean, I'm change the way that there. Ceremonial uniform, they make guard of honor. It's for being connecting the citizens. Say not to military business. This now we all day. Let's work together, stay connected. But pass this funny thing in there where they say wrong signal to the public. First time the way the election kind of the wave and the waka. From that way election done. And this thing will not go back to this Westminster kind of thing. This presidential thing not helps at all. You get the minister, because the point is the MP not will able to get development. You take the one where they not vote for, you put on the control resources. Depends on who that the president want. Then we help that district deal. Like we don't bring now Kono, you don't bring Kambia. Yeah. But even now the way they Kambia, are they in control? You can like the control of Kambia? That's another $1 million question. Not only Bangua the first, but that former ambassador. Let them less this thing and then go make sure the development goes to it. Like they bring solar lights, what way they you need to be big? No, let that talk there. This is all our campaign, but the charismatic behavior of the candidate, it can attract. But that next be the smile of the that thing they be look genuine to people be look like Kamo.
So with the names that we hearing at the APC and the SLPP
Who's
for
names?
Kambia, for example, who that you think say go get the edge in 2028 between the APC and the SLPP?
APC therefore go back to the drawing board and reconcile and settle the differences. Same thing with SLPP. You must say they say I think they talk about APC because that nonsense all day today. Hey, we renew for the next 20 years. Not to SLPP, but whether it's good or bad, they were out. Let them knock out the same idea. Find a credible candidate for us. You see, let's stop this book. I did see something last week. Man, they go shape water, shape this, shape money. You must say you win. You know,
Honorable, you think saying that the kind of candidates where the
now the confidence forget
the kind of candidates where the parties and the present can able to change the dynamics because
what dynamics? Dynamic they go back into more mess. Forget about this candidates. You see, sometimes the one that we're supposed to get leadership, we're not can see them quick. We can go with the flow. Okay, honest, try. It works small. This president, it works small. But the point is, then they can't make tasks way bigger than him. But it should be a teamwork of the people, your lieutenants around you. Should be thinking Sierra Leone. Man don't come out aboard. I be see one program now, they look the program down. Brave, Diaspora America, I think it was Jiva. I don't know that it's Jiva. So that means DST should be closed. Because we don't see impact when they use development. It's kind to say science and technology. This fellow, the chief minister, current chief minister was in that execution. Is he still being in charge of the DSTI? We don't know. They should be coming out so that we can understand. But the office, it has a salary base. These are all the little things you should be asking. That is why, if you look at the politics of Sierra Leone, you have to meet who are committed. Not for the talk. Talk are free, but Panadol one block. Now me can listen to where they can talk. If you watch the politics, nobody from the APC and the SLPP, the vibe you know there. SLPP get your own problem, APC get your own problem. But deliver the deliverables. That is not what is happening.
So we are the problem lies.
The problem
is it the people or the leadership?
Both. Not both. The leadership have to show compassion. I do understand. They will tell you, whether it's in his wisdom, in his thing. I don't want them to wear an but I say, no, let's talk about this wisdom. Because we don't see no wisdom like they carry it. Feed the man with, you see, we have become robotic. Garbage in, garbage out. That's what computer. You get on the wrong side, the wrong signal we get. Let us believe, say, I like Alex Trump info, whether it's like Trump good or not good. In focus is America first. So they get vote. So now we come back Salon first. This regional divide will downplay them. But it is very, very paramount. It annoy people, but we don't really say that we will afraid for talk. But truth, not they ever lie. They say the truth and you'll be exonerated. But the point is, if you talk the truth, I might ask you just to say, why it has been in that question. So you find out you have to be guarded while you're talking. But is that democracy? So what if we want to spend money, say, for election, voter card? We are in an authoritarian sick. I don't use that symbol of state also. I tell you, fire the ball, instead of go outside and go begin beats for camera. What's camera going to do? Fire. Train the man that was inside there. Make them send smoke bomb. That is technology. Put her inside there. Now the first time we see enough, where they go out for a brigade for carry lot of fire brigade there. Guma Valley. Send 3 tanker, they go take water for go so many because they be one up and down the place. Is that the governance you're talking about?
All right, Honorable Bamichidi. We go just bring Melvin before we can look at messages. We don't come in 2028 elections. What do you think say need for happen for be a game changer in terms of Kono and Kambia people deciding who side the victory they come out?
Well, I think the biggest game changer there will be the ideological entrenchment of tribalism and ethnicity over substance and deliverables. if 2028 will be a game changer, I think ethnicity, region, and tribalism will be put on a scale of and the substance of the personalities of the candidates and their track record of delivering. That should be the obvious game changer. But again, there are promising, there are early warning signs of what are we to expect. Of course, we all agree that the candidate choice for either APC and SLPP will have a long way. And this is more important because, like APC, like SLPP, APC is practicing Makama politics, whereas SLPP is practicing Anga Road politics. In summary, they are practicing northern infested politics in the APC. They are practicing southern or southeastern, southern infested politics. Ideologically, this must change if both parties have got chances. APC not for traditionally look and say, Pastor, if you ever beat Timini man or Limba man or northern person with a northern descent, that's not elephants in the room when they go for fair way for clear. Same way so, SLPP get for look beyond seeing just people pass you being Mende or you come on a Kenema or you come on a Bo or Bont or Pujang. This is an ideological.
The politicians then they are as good as the people and because the people and they seem for sure outside and one for go away they made the politicians and they dance to them tune then they.
I agree, but the fact remains, then same people here so you ask that waiting at the role, you will ask a critical question, how for enlighten the people for votes on issue. That's where the media and civil society, political education comes into place. Because if for me, as a non-partisan, when you partisan, they can't talk to me in a Western area. You need to can't talk to me because of you in a Western area person. No. You can't talk to me on what you don't do for Western area. So I think that this will enlighten the people of Kono and Kambia. That this is not about what you tribe. This is about what you tribesman don't do for you. Most of them so-called political godlords in this district, some of them, they only have their family houses in this district where they renovate. How many of them get businesses, get investments, get employment opportunities on their own? So it's high time we begin educating people, not to become here you talk Mami language as Mende, though you suffer, you say bidi mia. Not so because me you say PR is seke, don't you make her suffer, don't you say because you know, no. I think 2028, the media and civil society will elevate the conversation. Now, let's say for district, in terms of development, put Kono in tandem with, for example, Kambia, one east, one from the other side of, put them on a developmental trajectory. There are developmental reports. Somebody will tell me, say, okay, like you a classic study for why make we for try for mount a campaign against this tribal and ethnic divide. Do you know, Paolo SLPP in a power so today, Pujaun is still the poorest district in Sierra Leone. Who does that? How ironical is that? And when you look at the how Pujaun is voting over 90% SLPP, but why are they still poor? So the issue there is not to because I vote for my partisan brother or my tribe brother. No, you can vote for your brother. It still not will change your life. So that's the role I think we get for it will take a long time because we are the politicians that play this, but all we have to do with packaging. Of course, Kambia, for SLPP, there is a risk for letting them further slip into abeyance. In political terms, for letting them lost them political relevance and numbers. What is this risk? As it stands, the SLPP current executive na Kambia is, I want to say, is fragmented. Remember when they sack the current chairman of the district, SLPP. Now be the ambassador. Now this man is still in the pool chairs, they make pauper, whereas me gets a correspondence where in the secretary of the district, they say no, the man for hands off. So technically, if the SLPP district executive is not formidable ahead of the lower level elections, that further weakens their formidability. And what does that do in reverse? It strengthens the resolve and formidability of the APC. So now, what is the best bet for SLPP? They must find a way to make sure that Kande Yunkela deliver for his people if they are going to take Kande Yunkela. And no matter what you say, as it stands now, if we are talking about ethno-regional politics, Kande Yunkela cannot be written off. No.
Wow.
Yes, because the SLPP need northern districts. The SLPP cannot win an election just with South and Southeast district. No, they need to, they need to pinch past some of the APC influence. They did it in 2023. That's why we saw the numbers with Tonkolili. The numbers increased in Port Loko. In fact, slightly also in Tonkolili, if you look at the results. So the more you allow your opponent to make inroads without altering them and barring them.
You said the SLPP go able to continue with that strategy, the 2028.
Which one of the strategies?
Allowing the APC allowing the SLPP for take na side them when a day stronghold.
No, already for Kambia, that is not working in Kambia. As it stands for Kambia, APC take more. Yes, SLPP take half, but APC take more. Comparing the fact that SLPP is incumbent and then a government. So if you didn't have government, the man they beat you still with chest. Not so where you can go into an election where many people, if you say it's going to be a transitional election, that man, again, if you don't get the right message and right candidate, not will beat you back. So things are more precarious for the SLPP in Kambia, unlike in Kono. Of course, I will agree that based on how APC get for deal with some Sumana and other factors, you know.
Maybe you seem for don't talk a lot about the kind campaign message where the politician then go decide on. At this stage in a salon, waiting new you think say go in a campaign message where go convince people for throw support?
You alone can begin giving politicians their leakage. Let them do their homework. There are so many things that are new. There are emerging issues.
Because they can't tell you again about lights, roads, and all of these where we don't hear.
So that's why we set the agenda. If you set the agenda, me for the election, if I get for the host and moderate sessions with politicians, I don't go to those issues anymore. Of course, the GDP, IMF figures, they already don't speak to that. But there are emergency issues. For example, what will be the APC's position on organized crime and drug trafficking and drug trade? They must come out to that because that's an emerging issue. We see how the issue of Kush. Another emerging issue where many people are turning a blind eye to, now the issue we got to do with diaspora voting. That's an issue that can be tout, but they're not the follow up on that. There are many other issues around.
We will not get that thing there, Belgium. They don't talk with that idea there. The one when I had you go take ballot box like Guinea. You know, under 1 year you see you return them back. Then you go look at you see look till we get this election management correct. Till we get them correct, then you go for that.
This one, electoral justice?
No, what electoral justice?
Oh, I will say.
I mean, I don't bother nonsense. They say, what are they telling you about? The reality, it shift me at the looking.
You seem for don't give up in terms of politics na salon. Why?
Because we're not serious.
Why you think say the people not serious?
I tell you something. I make one funny comment also. I say I see Prede come. I don't see nothing. Sokia. Issa come. I don't know how independence will come, but everything they cast in shadow. Normally, you get 2 holiday. Something they'll pay now early for the independence. What are we going to show for it again in independence? 64 years. The same, it's a systemic damage to the system we'll get. That we don't even know how we become rudderless.
Also, as a nation, we get some wrong. Also, we miss
because we vote by sentiment. Now me comping kind, now me this, without telling me the matter. It don't become bread and butter issue. We got it. Then after some time, they give you his call. Then the man said not to. What was JJ? He said not to for the challenge gates like stadium for can begin talk every day. But why did you start it? And me concerned that the problem now is you have to look at person where the things are. Most of the thing what they get now, will they bring diaspora kind inside plus local content, but the other get edge. They don't even know what's in the happening. This man don't left 15, 20 and you can bring and camp and work. Look at the finance minister was talking. He said, well, in your own status don't go up. Now tell you they talk in the public. You see the messages whether they say like in home, definitely. They not they take with my sense, can't talk to other African person. You say now overuse your state house. Now as they say we get beaucoup freezer and make cool water. You go mortuary, you go Kintom, so freeze and with the pack with light on the day. I didn't know you will get cold water. So what's that overuse get for come with the state house? Well, a computer on our all get out within one small box, minerals in the thing them. But the problem now, the message, the wrong, make people don't get sense. So for can't tell me something I don't answer yourself. But then, now me and you will go vote. We're not sincere to ourselves because now we give the wrong people the wrong idea. All them people will make civil society on our APC. Where are they now? Are they not the same enjoying the benefits?
So what will be a game changer for 2028 elections?
That's one say accommodate. That's one like the game changer. No game changer, no day. It's either SLPP win back or APC if you don't get themselves organized. They might not go. But then people are lucky business skin inside. They will say, okay, 10 years, yeah, go take them back. Now that's what the world they go now. No beer. Now that anything will get now for beer. Now go with the go so.
All right, let me just look at messages where the viewers they don't send now the program this morning. I go begin for read now the YouTube channel. The very first message where we go look at Saidu Kamara. They say, I will disagree with you, Melvin. SLPP has never won a fair election in Sierra Leone.
The next Facebook page made a comment from Fude Mustafa too. It's a good point, Melvin. Despite the solid vote from the southeast, people are still living in mud houses and struggling to have a meal for the day. This political vastness of political parties irrespective of their delivery is the problem, and it's time for the people to wake up and seek our own interest.
George Orwell, na the YouTube channel, said, Melvin, you seem to be confused about the 2023 elections. Where are the results for the 2023 elections? Honorable Bami is right that the 2023 elections were inconclusive. So do not use them as an argument.
The next one, they come out from Abdul K. Kagbo from a Facebook page. You say the advice to political parties is to maintain standards in choosing their candidate leaders. The general elections is upcoming, and who decides is the big questions.
Bob Banks will say, Melvin, the politics of politicians saying Namigetia is overdone and dusted by Adebayo. So talking about Sam Sumana is not relevant to the APC anymore.
The next one they come out from Lolo is say it will be really hard for people in Sierra Leone to start voting based on policies, interests of tribe of regional line, because the politicians themselves full with division. This campaign message are often rotten in tribalism, and bio-tribe are not real solutions.
Usman Jose Kamara say we are responsible for our abject poverty. We are so partisan and regional, the politicians are taking us for granted.
For the Mustafa Toure in our Facebook page, say the problem of the country is educational. How can people continue to talk about APC and SLPP when their records are there for all to see? They are all responsible for the current situation of the country based on selfish intention. They come to politics poor, aiming to transform their own life. As Mohamed Bangora said, the president has spent just this year up to $3 million for 10 trips on private jets, 150,000 each, as he hobbled. This is a comment from Fude Mustafa.
All right, a lot of messages don't come in, but the final one I got it from YouTube because of time. Alhaji Sheka Conte say, I think this has to be done. This has to be a work for civil society to educate the public, more especially when it comes to elections, to vote on issues affecting Sierra Leoneans and not tribal either region.
All right, I would say the final one from our Facebook page. It comes from Kobo Jane. It say if Sam Sumana didn't become APC flag bearer come 2028, trust me, there will be no place for the APC.
All right, so many messages were coming. One for saying many thanks, so I always send message. And apologies to you where we're not able to read your message. As we wrap up this edition of the Breakfast Show, I come over to you. Let's just come to Honorable Amechidi before we come to Melvin for imparting words. Moving forward, 2028 elections. Based on your expectation, waiting you will say the public, especially the one that we get for votes, need for taking into consideration before then they go cast and vote. Look at the two swing state districts, Kambia Kono and Kambia.
Now, very interesting and difficult question for us, but I can use my small experience. We're very sentimental. Where to go? We they talk on the issue. We ready to make sure we ready to go vote. And now we get problem with the leadership. Who do you trust to put there? where flash money. No, say all that will be get money. Then when I get money and the people will not fed up, then they vote them out. Now the same thing that happen. People don't resolve them. I say 10 years. When you don't get that mentality, that 10-year mentality, then let them from the 10 year rich, then grab them. So we not the leadership issue not our problem, but we never address it. And because we not address them, we're going to go back in the same state where they come. Just imagine how some of the leadership in the APC where they come, or some of the youthfulness, youthful endurance, exuberance of the people in the SLP becoming with their own dynamics. Don't have the intent for take on, but they've never shown us. They don't deliver the deliverables when people expect. That's a problem. So how do you say me don't give up? I don't give up. But the problem, they don't show me something I will see. The message is wrong. It's sending a negative signal. So if you're not kind of bunch and the one can lead me now, I go for it. Now, because of MPRC, that youthful thing where they will be expect, they should have changed the trajectory of this country. But they missed it. Okay, and go up 70. Then luckily, they don't begin come back to normalcy. Pakaba to Arnest, then to current president. So that's what they expect the thing for go. But in between, we get hiccups. So that hiccups say now, how do we correct it? So you need a stabilizing factor where we come inside and able to put things in place before the next thing comes.
Just like we don't discuss holistically with regards to Kono and Kambia.
Me no,
your own perspective.
I don't tell you,
see. Don't watch. I become honorable as somebody we don't get into the political line for quite a very long time. You know, looking at Kono, you feel say Kono in future therefore produce a president.
I tell you, say the people they think now, they say like they will get the East, either from that Kalau Indian or Kono. That's the work that they go on. But okay. Now they can't. Now that I see they go on. Then they go before that day. But me not see that they forthcoming. No. Look at the district elections they are playing. They don't begin to election by this election. That local level election. Because they are the delegates who are going to come go vote. Make we left this boku money politics. You get the Jagaban there, you get this other way. You see massive money to win election. Because at the time, at the C67 replaying itself, 2028. They see that thing happen. And the only thing where SPK will win election for get majority of parliament, pass PRC system. We go consider it. Let's not try ourselves.
All right, Melvin, I think we go wrap up with you again with the same question where Alassane just asked Honorable Bamechidi. Kono and Kambia Districts, who do you think they go give with the next president?
Wow, that's a question for the two political parties and their willingness and the hierarchies. But who does suppose for the president, I think say Kono stand it, because looking at the way they don't treat some of them sons and daughters over the time politically in APC or SLPP. Kono, I think, say expectedly, if the political parties that they think like how they think, then suppose so. Of course, the issue of what should be, I think, say the media will set a generational chat on what are the electoral issues, or what are going to, or what are supposed to be the electoral issues. Because once we wait, say the political parties then do the lower level and develop manifesto, automatically they are now setting the agenda. Now waiting there one can't tell we, then they can't tell we. So that is of course important. But for me, I think the political issues for 2028, traveling is going to be an important one, and that will be tied to revenue mobilization versus expenditure. The next government, for me as a political liberal, get a plan on revenue mobilization and expenditure. There is a huge deficit we make the economy the outside so. And for traveling, that the next government will tell me what travelings they're gonna prioritize, what travelings they are gonna, because not all travels are statutory. Some are just discretionary. So we should look at that issue. Of course, fire incidents could be another political campaign issues if you have smart politicians who can package their message well, and if you have smart political strategies, because you have people who have stories to tell about impact of fire. And mind, these are lives and livelihoods affected. It can attract sympathy or apathy from a voter. So it depends on how you package that. And of course, the issue of drugs, will the issue of just hoover till 2028? If it's gonna hoover till then, will any of these politicians make it a political campaign issue? What will be their stance on, for example, drug trade? In Philippines, I watched Rodrigo Duterte campaign and I watched his leadership. A campaign on this drug business, don't work in this country. Anybody where we catch you, they shoot and kill her.
But Melvin, you think say the population where they vote, they're ready for votes based on issues?
They will be ready for votes on issues if we, the journalists there, we bring the numbers into realities. If we bring the analysis into bare facts. We get a lot of role for playing in political education. But of course, may not depend on a political party then for do political. In fact, what they do, they are doing political illiteracy campaign for letting people be more not educated and exposed politically. So if the media and civil society and international democracy activists, we want to change this trend, we need to look at the issues over 5 years' time and see which one of them more recurring, repeating itself. So like I say, the issue of drug, that should be a political issue because it has marred the image of Sierra Leone, but also issues around these many people not going to answer. Tribalism. If any one of them political party has to be player well by how they choose their candidates and how they market her, it should be an electoral issue. Sierra Leone is ethnically and tribally divided. Somebody did tell me last night, he say, where I talk this back, somebody will say, well, this is perhaps is pro. The guy say, he said, Melvin, and sack me in an institution. The guy tell me, he say, because my son name na Kagbo. I say, like, really?
It's fact.
You know, sometimes we downplay him because they say your name na Kane or your name na Moigua, or some of which until we can able to escape because Mansare can cut across in the district. But there are people where they suffer discrimination in this country because of the tribe and the region. In the south, in the north. So if you are a smart politician, you can play on that well. You can attract more electorate sympathy. But of course, food, angry boku. That is a new campaign. But waiting for new butter. I think say we as the journalists and civil society will ask the one that can campaign say the feed salon, how much farm they make, if they may make farm, how much they produce, and I change the hunger. The hunger trajectory, water, energy. These are all political issues. But above all, you look at diplomacy. This is very key. This is the last one, Mabel. Inclusion and exclusion, isolation and integration within these two political parties. Now they come back to the RIM and REM, Team A and Team B. If in the APC they keep on sticking to what I would call isolationist politics, say, now then that camp they win, we didn't this camp, it might not help them at all. Similarly, if the SLPP they practice they say they practice conservative politics rather than liberal politics. In this case, if they say we are radical inclusion, we are young, we are liberal, we are tolerant, we are accepting.
Have you seen it?
No, man. If they are saying they are radical inclusion, the radical inclusion already don't get an opposite when are the radical exclusion movement. So the political parties must be very careful. Their chances for 2028 will be how solid they are in terms of formidability and unity, or how disintegrated they are in terms of fragmentation and disunity. If they cannot manage that well for APC and SLPP, like Honorable Bami Chidi is preempting, there will be low voter turnout. And let me not forget, I will say this again, Nasalone, that person tell me, say, Melvin, you are confused. I'm not confusing myself at all. For public record, now ECSL, then result with the use. You don't get your own. The one at APC, they're not able for full results. So what are you talking about? Now, this same full Samunga don't full people, let's say, you know, please let me land. Please let me land. If whose other results you have for you to analyze this election for 2028, if not only one way we get, we don't dispute it. Let's be realistic. You cannot go and cook figures. Elections are called, they are done by.
Some rather full people, let's say. This is
a
big allegation.
You know, full people by electoral justice. I stand by it.
So you think it's just a waste of time?
That's facade, not fake.
Why?
Audio. The meeting first so let them initiate the idea of the agreement for national unity, now isolation meeting. So let me just land on that possibility. Say the person they talk about.
You will just
no, we are young for this country. So we go to old kuna with vision. Now follow the one that we can inherit with we don't meet from una. What una left give. So that is the reality, and I think that is just the hard facts. That's just the hard fact that these things are real.
The 2028 elections, like we say, we they bring Kambia kind of conversation here, so we go begin for set the agenda. By the time we are at the peak, people go don't know waiting and for look at when time reach for votes, not just voting because of tribe, not just voting because of region, and not just voting because somebody like your brother or your sister, but we look at the issues them where we know so they affect we as a nation. Exactly.
that last election, not no longer benefits, you know. So are they talking? So one can create other monster than Green Power? What's the civil society doing? Nothing.
All right, gentlemen, many thanks for joining at the studio this morning. We've been looking at the 2028 elections, the Kambia and Kono Districts. All that spanning two districts can get chances for decide who go come out victorious in the 2028 elections. We be get Honorable Bamichidi, a political analyst, and also we been get Melvin Tijan Mansare, a journalist and a social commentator. Liberty Online TV, get for the bring on a kind conversation here as time they go, as we want for help for set the agenda, as we unroll we go play a salon for ensure say people not just go to vote based on tribe, based on region, or based on the fact say somebody na your brother or your sister, but you look for issues where go be of national benefits to all. Until we meet again, many thanks to the production team. Princess Pias produced this edition of the program. Many thanks to the technical team, Musasa Ukuruma and Dennis Kamara Mekona Siwi live. Until then, may welcome back. Get a good week and goodbye.
Alhassan Koma, they wish you all the very best and plenty thank you. We don't share with content. Continue for follow Liberty Online TV as we therefore bring you more relevant information.
Develop city, then clean, all clean city, develop.
This is Yvonne Akisoya, Mayor of Freetown. And today, I want to talk to Freetonians about sanitation. We objective, transform Freetown, transforming lives. We not go able to achieve them if we all not join hands. Freetown City Council get role, but every Freetonian also get responsibility. Let we start first with the fact say FCC with the sweep 110 major streets every single morning from Monday to Saturday. But when we don't sweep the streets, if Freetonians then come and they continue for heap dirty in the street, you know they make the place look fine. Now make we get them litter bins them. The yellow bins we wanna go see around. So in the waka, you drink from your water bottle, your water plastic, you eat your packets on tin, not even a ground where you done. Make sure say you put on one of them bins then they. That litter bin they, in order for you host dirty. You know mean say if you pack you host dirty, you can pin her next to the bins them. Not to the idea that. Not give you host dirty to them one way the Allah say clean salon. No say that dirty way they collect now you host. In order for Karango, now the one of the two official sites. In order Karango Kisi Bome, in order Karango King Tom Bome. It turns so it left on a ground. And now we council get a problem, but you self get a problem because now front somebody else in Domot, your own dirty don't end up. So wait you for do with you host dirty. We get the one then a council when we don't certify. Say then approved waste providers. Then they on tricycles, some of them they in a vehicle. You will get host, you will get business, you in a hospital, institution. Everybody for make sure say their waste collected by an approved FCC waste collector. We get the tricycle groups, we get the companies. So you go see them around. We engage with them on a regular basis. And wait till we go do now as we come into this new year. Now for make sure say FCC stand behind them. For you, for no uside and day, and for let themselves go to you, so that we no go get a gap. When you eat dirty in a gutter, it end up na Lumley Beach, Toke Beach, All the tourism ambition where we get for the city, we did lost that potential there. FCC, they spend boku money pandoti business. The fuel, the labor, the vehicle maintenance, the spare parts, the night operations, the illegal dump site clearing where we get for the do every now and then. All that boku money, I'm not going to say we're not going to spend anything, no, but we're going to reduce some. If Fritonians then do the right thing. Because we're not going to get for go clear illegal dump sites. We're not going to get for sweep as many streets and spend as long. So if we reduce that money we spend now on dirty business, we will able put some on development. We all want for improving municipal schools. We want improve the markets them. We want for let we see new developments at the city. That money we will use for dirty business. You and while we all make up we mind. Pay.
You are watching Liberty Breakfast Show on Liberty Online TV.